So I want to jump on and talk a little about the Blue Lotus School of Yoga, which is a yoga school which is coming soon, which is really aimed at the sensitive woman with a very busy mind. So it came through when I was in the Blue Lotus Dieta, which is type of like a cleanse and a deep meditation with the plant, that I was really taken back to sacred codes and wisdoms which lived within me, which I have learned over the last decade or so, which are Kundalini Yoga wisdoms. And these wisdoms are very much, I think, like codes or key codes. They almost give you a key to the gifts which already live within you. So everything becomes enhanced when we practice the meditations, the mantras, and the kriyas. Blue Lotus very much connected me to my crown. I say that she crowned me, which made me kind of feel she feels like a queen to me, like she has the queen energy. But what she did was remind me of the tools that I already have in which I can crown myself, in which I can live a life that I am proud of, which is connected to my authentic self, which is connected to my soul. She has a regal quality. She kept using this word kept coming, which was impeccability, which is like living impeccably, which really means, like, for me, living with grace and style and integrity. And she kind of cleaned me up in some ways. I was a bit like fuzzing at the edges. She kind of cleaned things up. For me, she was quite, almost like I had to have the structure before I could freeform. She really showed me that in order to have this open crown, we need the really, really strong roots. She grows from the mud upwards. And these roots are coming from our womb. Not only our grounding through our feet, but the roots in our womb, the roots in our heart, the roots in our throat. So this was which came through, that I needed to teach this in the way that I do. And that every woman should have access to this. But as I've been working, along the time since the Dieta, it's become more and more, it's become clearer and clearer to me through my guides that I need to do less online and more locally in person in small groups. However, some of the foundational teachings are going to be like a library online. So what keeps coming is that the women that I really, really want to help are the sensitive women out there who have very busy minds. So this is me also. Super sensitive. So, one of my gifts lies in my hands and in my third eye. This is the gifts that I've been given. Everybody has their own gifts. Being a super sensitive, and what that has been like growing up and navigating, and all the things that I wish I'd known as a young woman, is what I want to teach. Very busy minds. I naturally have a very busy mind, and my life practice has been how to navigate life with a very busy mind. What that means as a woman, that when we're up in our minds and we're not actually down in our bodies, what did that mean for me being feminine, to know what feminine energy actually felt like? This has been a huge journey for me, as in everybody's life's a journey and a discovery, but these are the some of the tools that I wish to share to help women who may feel actually that they are a slave to their minds, that their minds are running the show, that their emotions are running the show, that maybe they have panic, maybe they have fear, maybe they can't sleep well, maybe their digestion's all over the place, maybe they feel that they're not even quiet enough to listen to the whispers of their heart or the whispers of their soul. These are the women that I hope to touch. And I'm going to start small, and this work will be coming soon. I wanted to talk about why I used the word exalted, because I think I said, I know what I've said, is that, you know, my work is for the sensitive woman with a very busy mind to help or guide to live an exalted life. And what came through, it was in a meditation. I was on, I'm like, I think on day 115 or something of Gyan Chakra Kriya, but it was on day 90 that something very significant happened. And in Kundalini Yoga, we will say that it takes 40 days to break a habit, 90 days to make a habit, 120 days you become the habit. On the 90th day, after literally feeling like I had so much crap being fired at me for all those days, it was unbelievable what was happening. It was really challenging. On day 90, something significant happened. I felt this almost like a shape within me, which was centered, calm, and peaceful amongst the movement of the Kriya. And it was light, and I could sense my soul voice. This is a huge gift, because very often we're hearing other types of voices from within. And in this moment, it really felt like an exalted moment, like it was like a pure moment of being alive. And if I could, and it just felt like I'd exalted, like I'd suddenly kind of excelled or exalted. That's the only word which came through. And if I could live in alignment with that frequency and that vibration, then that is a good life. And that's the word which came through, and that's why I'm using it. So if any of this speaks to you, reach out to me. I have lived, you know, I lived with a decade of panic attacks. All sorts of little techniques to try and cover up how sensitive I was to certain groups or to, you know, certain spaces or technology or, you know, a whole host of things. I found ways to get through, but they weren't healthy ways. I was really fearful of my mind taking off. Sometimes the mind would be quiet, sometimes it wouldn't, but you know, I really was at the mercy of my mind, not realizing that the mind is the mind, it's going to do that. It wasn't until I really, I mean, yoga connected me to consciousness, awareness, something so much bigger than myself, which ran through myself. That was my first kind of big experience in yoga. Ayurveda, when I started studying Ayurveda, was like this huge like moment of relief in some ways, when I realized that if you can understand the mind in terms of, and the mind and what's happening in the body in terms of elements, you can become objective, that you can realize that, you know, this whirring mind or this fast body is simply air, which is moving fast. It's simply the Vata dosha which has taken over. When I could see that it was air and ether and it wasn't anything more than that, it gave me, you know, an amazing sense of perspective. And so Ayurveda just works for me. I've been practicing for a long, long time. I'm still always studying. I'm always a student, and I'm always just in absolute gratitude and humility for just how incredibly powerful and knowledgeable those wisdoms are. So that's the way I really teach. I teach to the woman who is Vata imbalanced, really. And that is why I've always been so taken with self-oil massage, with all of these beautiful Ayurvedic self-care rituals, because not only do they work, not only do they connect us to the nature of the beauty which is all around us, they calm the nervous system. They nourish the mind, body and soul. They make us feel safe. So these are some of the techniques that I share. When I learned about womb healing and the womb healing journey I went on in Ibiza, I reclaimed parts of my feminine essence, which in its nature of when you've got a very, very fast mind and a fast body, even if you are a creative and all these very feminine attributes, the nature of being very, very, very fast and constantly moving is not the feminine energy. It's actually masculine energy. And I had to come down from my mind, down, 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 into the center of my roots, my womb, and reclaim that space. That was a massive journey, and it still is. And the techniques that I was given to awaken this space are just so beautiful. And I believe, even though it's not always said, that I think Kundalini yoga and even Egyptian yoga, Kemetic yoga, looks very, very similar. I really feel that they complement each other, but they share wisdoms. So that is how I teach. Thank you for listening. I just really felt to share this today. Satnam, and happy still in the basking of the flower